All right, pretty excited because the new chainsaws showed up on Greenworks Commercial website today. So these are the 82-volt chainsaws that they've been teasing us with for over 2 years now. I think they were first at the 2022 GIS Expo. So they got two versions. There's a 3.6 kilowatt and a 5 kilowatt. And the 3.6 kilowatt, now it's not showing on this page, it's on a different page. You can buy just the head. I think it's $560. You can buy just the 5 kilowatt head for $900. But you're going to need these new core batteries, I think, to run them the way they need to be run anyway. So these are the kitted ones. There's an 18 and a 20 inch on a 3.6 kilowatt. And then there's a 20, 24, and 28 inch on the 5 kilowatt, which is like 6 2/3 horsepower. And that the 28 inch one, it's $12.79. So they got this catalog here, and I'm gonna go through this thing. How do I get to them? Come on. All right, we'll go to the. Got to do a little scrolling here. I'm not sure how to just pick a page, but here's the batteries. So these are the core batteries. These are the new batteries, which they're not telling us. I'll go over what we know maybe and what we're guessing. They're not telling us what the technology is. So they're either pouch batteries or they're tabless technology, something along those lines. But basically more power with less heat and less weight. So this, they got the 300, 400, and 530, which is 3.5 kilowatt, 4.5 kilowatt, and 6 kilowatt rated output, and then with a higher peak. And that's the big one, 7.2 amp hours, which is a little bit less than the current. They got some of the info here: best power to weight, faster charging, the most powerful batteries yet, meaning that they can push more current through them. They're IPX4, they stay cooler all seasons, rated to go to 4 degrees below 0 Fahrenheit, which I think is better than what's currently available from them. And so here they are compared to the batteries they already have. So on this 8 amp, you get a little bit more overall watt hour capacity, but this 8 amp weighs 8.5 pounds and has a rated output of 5.4 kilowatts, where this 7.2 amp hour weighs 5.9 pounds and has a 6 kilowatt steady state discharge. So it's lighter and it can push more current. The max power is the same on both of them. And then you got 4 kilowatts and 3.2 on these 4 and 5.0, which we've had lots of videos where that 3.2 on the 4 amp battery isn't enough for their current 3.4 chainsaw. So this lightest battery, this 4, will push 3.5 kilowatts. So that's pretty cool. If this 3.8 pound battery can run the chainsaw, that's a lot of you can get that power with a lot less weight. So that's we'll see how that develops, but pretty good prospects. And then we'll go to the chainsaws here. You got to fast forward through all these pages. They got a lot of new stuff out in this catalog. So this is the smaller one, the 3.6, which is a little bit bigger than their biggest one right now, 60 cc gas equivalent. And they got some specs here. So they're saying this one's going to use a 3/8 chain pitch instead of the 3.25. And I did notice this is pretty typical for Greenworks. They're claiming an operating weight of just under 15 pounds. But if we look, we're going to see that's 3 pounds more than their big chainsaw. So I think they got the weight swapped. But the idea of having almost 5 horsepower with a 11 3/4 pound saw, that's pretty good. So we'll see how that goes. And they're claiming smooth start with uninterrupted operation. So I'm hoping that they fixed how the saws cut out and they can push through a little bit more. You see they got a vent here. They got the felling sights. And I do see they're using Oregon bars. I'm guessing it's going to be a Husky small mount or the KO95 tail mount for these bars, which will be exchangeable with Oregon. So that'll be pretty cool if that's the case. And then we'll go. This is the big saw, 5 kilowatts, which is 6 2/3 horsepower, which they're claiming is equivalent of an 80 cc. So we'll definitely give that a try and see if that can push current like it says it can. They got the magnesium oil tank, and they have had problems in the past with leaking, so hopefully they took care of that. That vortex air duct for cooling. So the thing looks pretty cool. And they got double bucking spikes on these saws where the other ones had singles. And these ones look pretty aggressive. Boy, and they got a little readout here, which they didn't have before, which I guess gives you your oil and your speed selections, which they also didn't have speed selections before. So, and then again, the operating weight of this large one says it's 11 3/4, so I'm pretty sure they got that flip-flopped. This is also a 3/8 chain. These both have about 30 meters per second or 98 feet per second chain speed, which is faster than their previous saws. So they're faster and more powerful. If they got any more info on it. In typical Greenworks fashion, this one says that they use 0.325 chain, but I don't believe that to be the case. So we'll find out about that. But this is the info that they've released for these saws so far. On the website, it says sold out. And I talked to them, and what it actually is coming soon. But it just, I guess, hopefully they just put all their money into the research on these saws and apparently not into their website development. Because it seems pretty common for Greenworks to have these types of mistakes on their websites. And then we'll go and we'll take a look at the charger, because that was one other thing I wanted to look at. Oop, I'm past it. So they got this new 82 volt 16 amp dual port charger. I'm not sure if that's the one that comes in the kit. They don't specify it, but it would be pretty neat if it does, because it'll recharge that big battery in 25 minutes as opposed to 44 minutes on the old charger. And that's pretty good. I mean, you could probably get away with 2 batteries and never running out of power with that kind of charge speed. And I mean, 3 batteries would absolutely do it. But overall, that's pretty cool that they're able to charge at that level with these new batteries and these new chargers. So that's what we know so far. I've heard they're coming out mid to late February with this. It'll be available. So keep your eyes out, and we'll be testing these for sure. But I believe these saws are going to displace the Milwaukee for top of the heap for power, definitely for speed. So more to come.